Hi everyone, Sophie from Sophie's Kitchen here. Today I am making raspberry cookies that are incredibly delicious. They are so simple to make, they're done in 15 minutes, and they require ingredients that you probably already have in your kitchen. Before you start this recipe, go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I'm using basic Trader Joe's raspberry preserves. You can get really fancy and make these cookies with other fruits. Even a hazelnut filling would be incredibly delicious, but raspberries are my favorite, so that is what I'm making these cookies with. I also use my mini food processor to mix some of my ingredients, but you could do this by hand. I'll just get an arm workout. So we're gonna mix our brown sugar and our butter in the food processor. So I'm gonna take a cup of this butter, which is pretty much all I have left, and 2/3 of a cup of the brown sugar. And for your butter, I love the Miyokos vegan butter. It has a really creamy texture. The flavor tastes like real butter, but obviously it's vegan. The brown sugar and the butter mix a lot easier if your butter is at room temperature. So just take it out of your refrigerator before starting this recipe. You want your butter and brown sugar to be really creamy, so you guys can see here that it's got to that texture after I've had it in the food processor for a few minutes. Now go ahead and take a teaspoon of your vanilla extract. And now we're going to take 2 cups of all-purpose flour, but you want to put it into this mixture really slowly. So what I do is I take half a cup at a time and mix it all in. And your last half a cup. We're gonna mix this, and we want a crumbly texture that still holds together though. And I'm gonna add in some water to allow it to all hold together. And really just use your best judgment when it comes to adding the water. You can see how much I add to this, but again, you want it to all hold together when you make your cookies. I add a little bit of water at a time to see how much I'm gonna need. And we can go ahead and add a bit more. And I hate measuring things, which is why I typically don't bake, but this recipe is really easy, so it's hard to mess up, and these cookies are so good. So it's perfect for someone that doesn't like baking, doesn't like measuring things out, someone like me. You can see now this is like actual cookie batter. It's really gooey. We're ready to put this in the oven. Again, 350 degrees. I'm going to spray down my baking tray. You could also use butter to coat this. You don't want to miss this step, otherwise your cookies will stick to the tray. Take about a tablespoon of the batter, and in your hands, just make a ball. And let's put this on our baking tray. You have your first cookie on your tray, and we're gonna continue making more cookies until you are done using up this batter. You want to set your cookies at least an inch away from one another so they don't blend into each other once they start to rise. So now that I've put all of my batter on my baking tray, I'm going to add in the raspberry preserves. So take some of your raspberry preserves and we're going to start putting them on top of these cookies. I like a lot of raspberry preserves on mine, you guys can see. And then simply place them in the center of the cookies. And you want to slightly push down on the cookie as you're putting in the raspberries to create a slight indent in them. So good. Raspberry cookies are ready to go in the oven for 15 minutes. It's been 15 minutes, our cookies are done. And they smell delicious. And you want to let them cool off for at least 10 minutes before you enjoy one. So delicious. They're buttery, not too sweet. This with a matcha would be my ideal breakfast every day.